But I did want to come in on the prompt, if you guys don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm pretty familiar with Satanism. Everything from LaVeyan Satanism to what you would call the modern Satanic Church, which,
Yes.
in my understanding now, is there's two competing branches. One which falls under a more secular humanist branch. Another one which will still practice what they call dark magic, but that just really they're talking about psychological manipulation essentially, and they're like a LaVeyan sect, a leftover LaVeyan sect. But that the main branch mostly embraces a humanist, more humanist manifesto under their tenets. And I still wouldn't want to be associated with them. Like I still wouldn't want to be pals because I think that humanism itself is just stupid. So ultimately,
Satanism has nothing to do with humanism, and there's definitely no tenets. And just based off of the word tenet, I'm assuming you're talking about the Satanic Temple, which Satanism does not recognize or acknowledge at all.
well, okay, well, when you say Satanism, what are you referencing then?
So there is only Satanism. There are no branches or sects or different versions. There's only Satanism. It was
Yes, I mean
codified,
there definitely is though. At
but
least
there's
people
not.
who identify as being that.
Right, but those are factually incorrect.
Isn't that a
Because
no true Scotsman fallacy though?
no, because the entirety of Satanism codified in '66 hasn't always been atheistic. So for
Well,
someone
hang
to
on,
come
codified
along,
by who though?
Anton LaVey, it is a recognized, acknowledged religion that is atheistic.
I don't think
Anything,
that LaVeyan Satanism is a recognized religion. Actually,
it absolutely is.
let
It is
me
codified. It
let's
is
find out.
recognized.
I want to find out now. Where can I find if LaVeyan
Recognized.
Satanism is codified by who? Who's it codified by? The U.S. government?
It's
Yes,
recognized by
the U.S. government, including the military, recognizes the Church of Satan as a religious organization and will stamp it on all paperwork and dog tags.
Let's take a look here. No. LaVeyan Satanism is founded by Anton LaVey is not officially recognized as a religion by the U.S. government, and no, they will not stamp it on dog tags. So that was just made up, bro.
I'd be more than happy to pull up my
Please
old
do.
DFAS account.
Please do. Where can I look this information up?
Sure, no problem.
So I mean,
Give me about like 5 minutes. I'll pull it up for you.
so where did you get the source that says that it's not a codified religion?
Well, that was from the US.org. They said that Satanism is not a recognized religion by the U.S. government.
Interesting. That's the first I've ever heard of that.
But I am willing to be corrected. It's possible I'm wrong, right? I'm not right about everything.
I'm
but
not saying that you're right or wrong. I'm just saying that's the first I've ever heard of that.
oh,
I mean, earlier the host gave me the characteristics of what you would need to be defined as a religion. Host, you can give those.
yeah, the U.S. government does not officially recognize any satanic religion. They don't endorse nor approve them. They did give the Satanic Temple a tax exempt status by the IRS, and they do that with other religious organizations. That's true, but they also do them with non-religious organizations, which was the compromise. So it's definitely not an officially recognized religion.
The TST, one of the very first things that they've
Maybe.
done.
Hang on, real quick. Maybe that's what you're thinking of because of the tax exemption status?
No, the TST themselves filed as a Christian organization in order for them to have tax exemption.
So the U.S. government recognizes a Christian organization. Got it. That would be not Satanism then.
No, the TST has absolutely nothing to do with Satanism at all. Matter of fact, when you actually look at the fundamentals and the deep dive of the philosophy, everything about the TST is pretty much anti-satanic.
Well, okay, but that's not really the argument. The argument here is whether LaVeyan Satanism is recognized by the U.S. government. It is, in fact, not recognized by the U.S. government.
What did you say your source was for that?
That would be the U.S. government itself, who claims. You can go to us.gov under recognized religions.
So us.gov is the source that you're pulling from?
Yep. To be fair, I did Google it live just to make sure. You know what I mean? But that was the first source. I thought us.gov was a pretty good source. But I am willing to be corrected for sure.
I mean, did you look up if any state, which state governments accept it, or is it just completely federally, just in every state not accepted, or is it Like some states do it, some states don't.
I'm not actually aware. It's possible, but I'm not actually aware of any state recognizing any satanic church as being legitimate either.
So, I mean, I'm looking, this is just simply Google. Like, Satanism is definitely protected by the Constitution.
Nobody, but that's not the claim, though. Everything's protected by the Constitution. Witchcraft's protected by the Constitution, but it's not an officially recognized religion. That's a whole different argument. You're just saying that all religions are protected under the Constitution. It's like, yeah, sure, that's true, but that really has nothing to do with the claim, though.
Well, I mean, this is just an AI overview, and this is exactly what it says word for word. Yes, Satanism, notably LaVeyan Satanism, as practiced by the Church of Satan and codified in the Satanic Bible by Anton LaVey, can be considered a codified religion.
Yeah, but it's not recognized by the U.S. government. That was the claim, right?
So here there's this gray area by technicality. By what you're presenting here, the argument is, does the military actually support Satanism?
Well, you
in its
said that you
organization,
can
right?
get Satanism
Let me
printed on your
finish my
dog
fucking
tags, right?
statement, please. Like I said, let me finish my statement, and I'm going to fill in where this gray area lays. So, does the U.S. military actually support the philosophy or the ideology of Satanism? The technical answer is no.
Mm-hmm.
In regards to the Satanism or being a Satanist in the military, there is paperwork in which you fill out that has to do with your personal preferences, recommendations, or services that may be available to you via chaplain, whatever may have you. So when it comes to filling out that paperwork or something happening to you, those preferences, recommendations, or counsel that you may seek out, they do make those accommodations for you.
Yeah,
right. To
but
an extent.
I wouldn't dispute that. But here's other things that you can get printed on your U.S. dog tags: Druid, Jedi, Dark Sith, because they allow the no real right? No real preference or atheist can be put on the dog tag itself. However, it looks as though they don't actually print Satanism itself. Jedi they'll do before Satanism, apparently, which is interesting. But this idea that Satanism is an officially recognized religion is just that's just silly nonsense, right? That's not actually true.
Well, it's not nonsense because it is recognized by the judicial court and the prison system. So it is recognized, just probably not in all fields.
Well, recognized by the judicial court, how?
That they understand that if you catch a case or whatever for whatever reason, and you go in there and they make you put your hand on the Bible and everything, you have the right to say that goes against the police. I don't have to do that, and they accept that.
Well, I mean, that's so. Hang on. So you're just saying that you don't have to swear on a Bible. That doesn't mean the court's recognizing that Satanism is a legitimate religion. You realize that, right?
So by the Department of Defense, it's referred to as No Romeo Echo Lima, right? Which is essentially an abbreviation for no preference.
Yeah, no preference, exactly.
No religion.
Right.
So when you categorize no religion, at that point, they're basically throwing you into a pot, a melting pot of atheists or philosophies where people that then want to go under a preference under a non-religious title, that's where you find those goofballs that are putting like Sith or Jedi or Pastafarian
Sure.
or whatever have you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So as a Satanist, if you wanted to go under a no Romeo Echo Lima or a no preference and then put Satanist on the tag itself, you could. But to be honest with you, that's kind of irrelevant due to the fact that the only information that is relevant on a dog tag is your last name, your blood type, the last four of your social, and what unit you're with, right? So that's kind of the information that is relevant, or is the rest of the information that's on there is irrelevant.
Yeah, so then I don't really understand.
Is the paperwork that backs and supports.
Yeah, so then I don't understand why that was brought up a point in the affirmative that it's an officially recognized religion. It certainly is not. That's my point.
Yeah, and I clarified that gray area,
Okay.
right? Because the way that the military operates is based off of, from my understanding, I think it's a total of 7 categories. As in an officially recognized, you have the subcategories of Christian, Catholic, Protestant, which all fall under the same umbrella. Then you have Jewish, Muslim, Buddhist, and Hindu.
Yeah, so
So
all of those are going to have specific afterlife requests. The no real preference is saying they don't care what the afterlife request is. So the thing is you're right. You categorize then in no real preference as a Jedi Knight, and they're fine with that. Just like if you categorized as Satan, I suppose. They'd be fine with that too, but that doesn't legitimize it or have them recognize it as something which is official. Same thing with the U.S. government; they simply don't.
is paganism codified?
No.
I see. So when within the prison systems, the Department of Defense, any type of the military branches, so on and so forth, none of those federal agencies or federal services recognize paganism.
Well, they couldn't recognize paganism. Paganism itself is not a religion. Paganism is giving a reference to non-Christian religions. So, like, wouldn't paganists be Buddhists? Would be pagans? Like, basically, everybody who's not a Christian is what a pagan is, right?
Right, in the colloquial use of the word, yes.
Yeah.
But
So
I'm
they're not going to
talking more
recognize
specifically.
paganism. They would recognize something else. There would be some
Right.
other.
So more specifically, then, if we're
Yeah.
going to get into the semantics, it would be like Norse mythology, right? So
Yes, and I have a friend in the military
Mhm.
that is a pagan, whatever you want to call him,
Mhm.
and he's in the army, and it's recognized that's what he is.
matter of fact,
What do you mean?
in
It's
the
recognized that's what he
military,
is. Like
you
people
can
know he
receive
does that.
religious accommodations. You can receive pagan or Norse mythological accommodations
Sure.
in the military
Yeah.
if you can prove
Mhm.
that that is in fact your faith with some type of backing of paperwork, and you can actually grow a beard in the military.
God.
Really?
Oh,
Is
what
that?
is-
Hang on. You can grow a beard, can you?
Yes, there are instances in the military, such as like the Islamic or the Muslim faith, as well as the pagan faith, that if you can verifiably justify and prove that this is in fact your faith, and you have ties to some type of religious organization or religious
Hmm.
ties to, you're able to essentially prove that this is your faith. You can put in a special request to a CMC, a CO, or an
Hmm.
XO, and get a grant
Yeah, and I see
to
that the
grow a
Army
beard.
has granted these waivers to some Sikh soldiers who are Muslims. Can you point out any waivers that they've granted for Norse pagans, please?
Yes, I can
Okay.
actually. Yeah.
This is all above my pay grade, so I'm just letting you guys go at it.
Okay, I just sent him a thing to come in here because Dark can help explain it too. I don't know if he'll come in the live or not, but yeah, he's in the military and he's definitely Norse.
Well, I mean, I agree that you can
Nevada
apply
National
for them.
Guard soldier
Yeah.
has now been endorsed to grow a beard or a Norse beard.
A Norse beard. So
I
he.
am called a Glad
so-
of War or Grim Raider,
Hmm.
and the third. I am one-eyed, and I'm also the highest and true guesser, I guess, or grimmer, and I am the hooded one. I am the All-Father, wanded beard. I have as many as there are winds in my. Oh, this is just a statement. From
And
this soldier.
do you agree with me
But
that
his
Norse?
name is,
Yeah,
his
that-
name is Hyper, U.S.
yeah.
Army, Nevada.
I'm looking
National
at the
Guard.
case. Do you agree that that Norse beards are really long?
Are long?
Yeah.
Typically, yes, and the reason why a person would want to grow such a gnarly beard is to look as intimidating and as unkept as their ancestors were.
Okay. That makes sense. Was there restrictions that were put on the beard length of this soldier?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, then it's not really a Norse beard, is it?